In Seattle, this is KUOW News. I'm Paige Browning. A record number of residents in Washington are out of work right now, including thousands of Puget Sound area artists. They may be hurting financially, but that hasn't put the brakes on their creative output. KUOW's arts and culture reporter, Marcie Sillman, introduces us to a South King County man who's driven to make music.
Robert McPherson has been singing all his life.
I grew up singing gospel. I think I did my first solo when I was 4.
McPherson's musical life took a twist when he got to college. He's been a professional opera singer for more than 25 years, performing all over the country. That's how he earned his living until coronavirus hit.
I have had many gigs canceled. It's basically kneecapped the performing economy.
According to a survey of Puget Sound area arts groups done in mid-March, at least 2,000 local artists are in the same situation. Organizations canceled performances, forcing layoffs or furloughs for their full-time staff and nullifying contracts with freelance artists like McPherson.
The monetary part is challenging right now because there's no money coming in.
But that doesn't mean McPherson has stopped singing. You may have heard this famous aria from the opera Turandot, but I'm positive you have never seen the tenor sing it while dressed as a dinosaur. That's just one of many costumes McPherson wears as his alter ego, the Drunken Tenor.
The original idea was that he was afraid of the high notes. So every time he would come up to a high note, he would stop, and the first time he pulls out a flask, takes a drink. Second time, shakes himself a martini, and then the final one, he walks off stage and comes back with this big frou-frou drink with umbrellas and straws, and it got a great response.
The idea grew out of his musical theater background. That first performance was 5 years ago, and since then McPherson's Drunken Tenor has performed at Seattle Opera donor events, at Bumbershoot, and the Seattle Fringe Festival, where he won a Best of the Fest award. The social distancing mandates have pushed the Drunken Tenor online, and sometimes McPherson feels like his videos are frivolous, given the magnitude of the crisis. And then a friend in the healthcare field wrote to him.
After a day of trying to calm people's fears, working with patients, and trying to keep my own sanity, I sat on the couch and watched an old friend from high school singing in a dinosaur costume. And it was the first time I smiled that day.
The message reminded McPherson about the power of art, even something as light as an opera parody.
We have been light in times of darkness. We've held up mirrors during horrible times. And we've brightened people's days when possible. That's what we do. And that's what we will continue to do.
Marcie Sillman, KUOW News.
You can find Robert McPherson's parodies on social media channels and his website. Search for The Drunken Tenor. This is KUOW.